Hi, my name is Brian, and this is my Mono Green General Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. So this is my General Vorinclex. He's from the new Phyrexia set, and I was really excited about him because A, he's a mana doubler, which enables my Timminess, and B, because he keeps your opponent's lands tapped, which is a fantastic ability. Bunch of lands, forests. First non-basic is Oran-Rief the Vastwood. Obviously, it's a great green land, and it makes your guys bigger. Mikokoro, Center of the Sea. Green has pretty good card draw, but it never hurts to be able to draw a couple extra cards. Misty Rainforest. This is mostly in here as a shuffle effect, so if the cards on top of my library are crap, I can shuffle them away. Temple of the False God, because it makes double mana. Treetop Village, because it is a guy. Mosswort Bridge, because this is my favorite land to fetch up with Primeval Titan. Tectonic Edge destroys problem lands like Opposing Gaze, Cradles, or Cabal Coffers. Springjack Pasture. I've always had a really soft spot for this land ever since Eventide came out. I love goat tokens, and so making them is amusing. Mystifying Maze takes care of problem attackers. It's really good against generals like Janara or other generals that tend to get really large really fast. Reliquary Tower, because you can never have too many cards in your hand. Strip Mine also destroys problem lands. And of course, in a green deck, Gaia's Cradle. So, the first group of creatures is mana ramp creatures. This deck is very mana hungry. The general costs 8 after all, and you want to be able to do lots of things with your mana doubling abilities. So, Tribe Elder, Yavimaya Elder, Oracle, Wood Elves, Krosan Tusker, Primeval Titan. If you're not playing this in your green decks, you should be hit. Steel Hellkite is one of my favorite EDH cards from Scars of Mirrodin. It is an amazing board sweeper, especially if you're playing against somebody who likes to play token decks with Rith. Brutalizer Exarch. He's got 2 abilities when he comes into play. He can get a creature from your library, which is cool, but his really awesome ability is the ability to put some other non-creature permanent on the bottom of his owner's library. You get rid of problem lands, planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments. Awesome card. Glissa destroys artifacts. Woot. Mold Shambler gets rid of problem permanents, as does Woodfall Primus. Malira and Greater Good are both in this deck. I want to live the dream someday of going crazy Vindicate. Acidic Slime, same thing, destroys lots of permanents. Terastodon, my favorite green creature ever, destroys everything. Indrik Stomphowler also destroys things. Paleoloth is the first of my graveyard recursion creatures. He gets dudes back every time you play a creature with power 5 or greater, which is awesome in a deck that has lots of 5 or greater. Genesis, of course. Deadwood Treefolk also gets dudes back. Eternal Witness for Genesis waving twice in the same turn. Arashi the Sky Asunder was actually added to all of my green decks when Iona was printed because I needed an answer for her. Trineal Elemental also takes care of flyers, she's particularly great against any of the Akroma variants. Garrick's Pack Leader, nothing better than drawing cards when your creatures come into play. Same thing with Primordial Sage. Vigor stops damage-based decks dead in their tracks because they can't do anything about him. Great. Primeval Titan, 6 for a giant fatty trampling thing. Just wonderful. Brooding Saurian is there because there's a Memnarch player in our playgroup, and he can't do anything about this. Malira, again, they're solely to live the dream. She'll probably get cut sooner or later, because, you know, she's just not that good as a dude in the deck, but someday I'm going to Woodfall Primus infinitely. Forgotten Ancients makes Vorinclex very, very large, very, very quickly. Dauntless Dourbark, he is by himself very large. Chameleon Colossus is a great way to spend all that extra mana the Vorinclex is giving you by doubling him and doubling him some more. Unyaro Bees is the same thing. If the ground is clogged up with creatures, then Bees just gets right in there over their heads. Spearbreaker Behemoth is the Wrath of God defense for all of the big creatures. Psychosis Crawler, it's a true joy having him and Greater Good out at the same time. Just kill everybody with your creatures. Kamal Fist of Krosa, I actually won a game with him last night. I overran like 10 times with all of my creatures on the board, and that's what he's in there for. Engulfing Slagwurm is the perfect wall. He can't be damaged by creatures, really. They just die anytime they come into contact with him, so yay. Thicket Elemental gives you free creatures, and that is awesome. Multani is a big, shrouded, awesome dude who gets in there for lots and lots of damage in multiplayer games. Wormcoil Engine is, of course, life gain, death touch, makes tokens when he dies, Wrath of God defense. Palaka Worm, also life gain, draws a card every time he dies, which is equally cool. Avenger of Zendikar, duh. Rampaging Baloth, this is a great card to have in when you Genesis Wave for 1,000,000 billion, because he makes lots of tokens. Green Sun Zenith, get whatever I need. Primal Command, I typically gain 7 and fetch a creature with him, although it's a lot of fun to shuffle away somebody's Planeswalker. Birthing Pod, this is one of my favorite cards from the new set because the things you can do with Birthing Pod are just broken. Genesis Wave, duh. Harmonize, draw cards, Greater Good, draw cards. Momentous Fall, draw cards. Bibliotheca Silvestre, awesome card, draw cards. Krosan Grip, my favorite thing to do with Krosan Grip is to destroy people's tops. Beast Within, this does get my vote for my favorite card in New Phyrexia because having instant speed Desert Twister is just bonkers good. Speaking of Desert Twister. More Mana Ramp, Cultivate, Journey, Sky Shard Claim, Noxious Revival, and Reclaim together make up an awesome graveyard recursion suite. Praetor's Council is about the most broken card they've ever printed for EDH. Seer Sundial, draw cards. Erratic Portal, this is great. This deck has a lot of enter the battlefield triggers, and so being able to abuse those triggers with this card is wonderful. Lurking Predators, again, that goes to the free creatures are awesome theme. Gelatinous Genesis is an X spell to dump all of that mana that Vorinclex produces into and make lots of giant tokens. Garruk, untapping Gaia's Cradle is awesome. And Asceticism, I don't like it when you target my things. Thanks for watching CMDR decks. Please subscribe and favorite.